Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this afternoon. Celtic have finally confirmed that we've signed a player. It's just got me thinking back. Got me thinking back to Andy Tom. I know that he's not a striker and you know, it did get me thinking back because Andreas Tom, he scored some fantastic goals for Celtic over the years. I didn't actually know that he was a manager now, but when you look at his time at Celtic, um, he came from Leverkusen to Celtic and then moved on. But his career stats, you know, he definitely scored some cracking goals for Celtic over the years. Well, the short time that he was at Celtic, he was here for a good few years, wasn't he? Was it 3 years Andy Tom was at Celtic? It's going away back. Can't remember. Um, can't remember. But anyway, let's hope our new Thomas could come in even after an interview. Celtic girl Jade. It'll be good to see that if this guy can score goals like what Andy Tom did. Completely different players, but it just got me thinking back. And I think he probably came with wearing the shirt this morning. But anyway, Celtic have announced that we do have a new player in town. He joins on loan until the end of the season. Celtic are delighted to announce the signing of Thomas Kervaka on loan from Borussia Mönchengladbach. For the remainder of the season, subject to international clearance. That will be done and dusted by this afternoon. There is also an option to buy the 25-year-old Czech Republic striker at the end of the season from the Bundesliga site. Thomas went on to say, it's a massive honour to sign for this club. I am so excited to get started and make my own contribution to the team. We've had lots of challenges. We have lots of challenges ahead of us. I'm ready to get going and I'm ready to meet and bring success to our brilliant supporters. Celtic are one of the great names in world football. I am delighted to be here playing my part. Martin O'Neill says that we are delighted to welcome Thomas to the club. We believe he can come in. He has some real good qualities. We think that he will be an important addition to the squad going forward. And there is a TV interview with the player coming shortly from Celtic. But one interview that I wanted to listen to that didn't get a lot of notice yesterday actually was the interview, the Celtic FC interview with Benji Negrin. Benji, who'll be an important player for us tonight. And I'm going to listen to this interview from Celtic FC with Benji first of all to see what he was saying.
We're going to tomorrow night's match on the back of 3 wins in a row. You know, how good is the confidence in amongst the side just now?
No, it's very good. Like you said, we have 3 wins in a row, and we'll make it 4 tomorrow.
Absolutely, love that, love the confidence. We obviously know that this will be a tough match. Bologna are a quality side, as we know, but how much sort of motivation and confidence do you take from the fact that just earlier this season we went away in Europe to Feyenoord and racked up a good victory?
Wait a minute now, that's jumping the gun a bit, isn't it? And there's one thing, Bologna's got one of those proper old-fashioned European stadiums that go back, God knows, I don't think that they've ever done anything to it for about 40 or 50 years. It's probably been the exact same, just new seats put in. But can Celtic realistically do anything? He was asked about the Feyenoord game away from home under Martin O'Neill.
No, first of all, like you say, Bologna is a very good team. They play against the top teams every week, and have been one of the best sides the last 2-3 years in Italy. So of course we're we know how good they are, but we also know how good we can be, and we'll for sure need a strong performance to win tomorrow. But yeah, the feeling is good in the team, and I think we will do a good performance tomorrow.
The feeling's good in the team every game that we go away, to be fair. It's when you then come across the standard of players. And will it give the club a little boost? Will it give Johnny Kenny a wee kick up the arse? Because if Johnny Kenny starts tonight, he's a player that now knows that we have another striker in. Finally, we do have another striker. So maybe, like what happened with Liam Scales. I know Liam Scales is the Maldini of Celtic, and Liam Scales got a kick up the arse a few years back, and he kept improving. Now, with that being said, Johnny Kenny is a younger player that is coming through the system that needs to be given time. Surely, the motivation of seeing this guy signing for Celtic this afternoon, as they're sitting in the hotel, and maybe get him to just go, do you know what? I need to start scoring goals because I'm out the team. You know, Celtic aren't bringing this player in that's potentially worth £10 million. Celtic will never pay that for him. I think Celtic have got the option to buy him for around about £5 million. But when you look at it, Johnny Kenny, Scott Miller saying 6 goals in 67 games. The video this morning, Chris Sutton, 3 goals in 38 games, 39 games when he was at Chelsea before he came to Celtic. It's all that I'm saying. It's all that I'm saying. Go back and check the video this morning. We looked at Chris Sutton's stats before he came to Celtic, and it was woeful. Absolutely woeful. Now they're completely similar players. We'll leave that there. We will leave that. So you don't need to keep on repeating yourself, Scott, because I noticed that's a few times that you've typed that. You know, you only need to type it once, mate. But we do digress. But anyway, let's get back to Benji and see what he's saying, because he seems rather confident.
Yeah, we're speaking about that win that we got away against Feyenoord. Of course, that night you got on the score sheet, which has been a kind of regular theme this season. You're obviously a leading goal scorer as well just now. In terms of yourself personally, how good does that feel, and how much confidence does that give you going into every game?
No, of course it feels good, and of course it gives confidence personally as well. And yeah, I just want to help the team as much as possible. Yeah, that's what I wanted.
Absolutely, the lights are going off behind us, but we're not going to take that as our cue to leave just yet, Benjamin, because we know that ahead of tomorrow's game, a positive result here could put us in a really, really solid position in terms of progression further in Europe this season. Is that something that comes into your mind and to the boys' mind, ahead of these kind of matches?
No, I don't know. I cannot talk for everyone. Myself, I haven't looked at the table too much. I just know it's so many teams, and if you win one game, you'll climb a lot in the table. So yeah, a win tomorrow would be very good.
And finally, let me just ask you about the gaffer, Martin O'Neill, because of course we were referencing that brilliant away win earlier in the season. Of course, Martin was in the dugout. He's a manager who's got a wealth of experience of European football, both in management and of course as a player, as a younger man. How much have you been enjoying working with him lately?
No, very much. I've said it before. He knows the club, and everyone's in the club and around the club, all of the fans and stuff. He is so respected and loved. So it's been very nice to have him back, and we've had good results, and we hope to keep going this way.
Yeah, we hope we keep going. I'm sure that was Benji Negrin. That wasn't the new player. That was Benji Negrin that we're talking about. Because Benji Negrin did an interview yesterday. But if you go back to the beginning of the video, you'll understand that. And I'm sure that Celtic must have watched the video that I put out of Martin O'Neill yesterday, talking about Martin O'Neill in his early career. Because there's not a lot of the support. Definitely a lot of these players will not know about the fact that Martin O'Neill lifted the big cup twice. But anyway, there is a positive to take out today's announcement by Celtic that they have got a striker in. We'll talk about Benji before we go back into this striker. Benji's just been talking about the positivity within the squad and the fact that they're really not looking too far ahead. And Benji's saying that he's not even looking at the table because the realism is that, don't know, we'll be lucky, absolute lucky. If Thomas scores the winner in the cup final, we may be faced with the ultimatum again. I hope it doesn't come down to, if he scores 9 goals, leave Benji aside now. Benji's had his little say. If Thomas scores 9 goals and repeats what Adam Ida did, now there is obviously within the contract there's the option to buy, so we already know the price, and that's maybe the good thing about Celtic at this current point, because when it came to the Adam Ida situation, there was no option to buy, and we paid way over the price, way over the value price for Adam Ida. I mean, he was a 3 million player all day long. He probably still is a 3 million player. When you look at the fact that we can get a look at this guy from the Czech Republic, if he's half the player or even as good as Adam Ida, and if he scores the goals, his benchmark, for me, his benchmark, he's come in at the same time roughly as Adam Ida, give or take about a week. His benchmark is 10 goals. If he scores 10 goals, you have to seriously look at him. I mean, if he scores 10 goals, Celtic are going to buy him because, let's face it, Kelechi Iheanacho doesn't score 10 goals a season. When you look at other players that are in the squad, striker-wise, we don't have a striker that's scoring 10 to 15 goals a season. So that gives them a good start. Fans will be there demanding. I don't trust this board, and I still don't, says Brian. Oof. Anyway, right, let's have an early prediction. Now that we've got some good news at Celtic, let's get some early predictions for the game tonight. I am going to say that the game tonight will be I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Tell me what you think that your score predictions will be in the comments, and we'll get them up rather than getting them up later on. We'll just do it a bit earlier. I'm only staying on for another 5 minutes or so, as I am back in just a few hours when Celtic do come out with the team. Well, the Stones is 2-2. Do you think that will be? Not too sure. Not too sure. Keep hearing about this guy as well. There's a lot of speculation about this guy from Crystal Palace coming to Celtic. 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. I take it you're talking 2-1 to Celtic, 2-1 to Celtic. I'll take no injuries tonight, and the result 0-0 all day long. To be fair, if Kelechi was fit most of the season, he'd scored 10 goals, at least by now. His previous stats don't show that, Michelle. I showed Kelechi's stats this morning, and his previous stats, he's never scored 10 goals in a season. I don't think that he would do it up here either. 2-1 to Bologna will get beat. There's maybe that. I think that, we'll just hope that it isn't a bad result. 1-0 to the Hoops. Baz, we're getting diddled by the Italian sausage, mate. You think so? This team had 1 win out of 9, so maybe we get a win. I think there's more chance of the draw, to be honest. 2-1 Celtic. It'd be fantastic if we do get the win. 3-0 Celtic. 0-0. 2-1 defeat. Sadly, my head says we'll get beat. My heart says we'll get a result. Kenny's stats are better than Kelechi. Yes, they are. Way better. Yeah, but come on, easy sitters that I've missed throughout the season, Kelechi would have scored them. Not necessarily. I mean, I'll get Kelechi's stats up if you want, just to show you, like we did this morning. Where is he? Iniacho. And by the power of boom, there we go. Iniacho. There's his stats. He's never been a prolific scorer. There's only one season back in 22-23 that he scored 10 goals. I don't know, seven in the league. But anyway, 4-1 to the Bolognese. 4-1 to the Bolognese. Difficult for Celtic if they cannot speak Italian on the pitch. Mamma mia. 2-1 Celtic. What, Stuart? But anyway, we're going to finish that one. Every time I keep the faith, I get disappointed. Story of your life being a Celtic fan right now. But anyway, we need to get our crossing boots on tonight. I'm hoarse from shouting, cross the fucking ball of the telly. Right, make sure that you do join me in just under 2 hours' time. We will be going live again just under 2 hours' time while we await the team being announced by Celtic in Europe. Can Martin O'Neill do it? Can Martin O'Neill get a result in European football? Martin O'Neill's got a little bit of a grudge match when it comes to Italians. Can he right a wrong that was done so many years ago that Martin O'Neill still has nightmares about? Make sure to join me then. Until then, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.